recruiting, of course, is always going. It seems to be at a place that you're not Auburn. You're not really getting too many commits now. Auburn, for some reason, is going crazy. And we talked some Auburn football the other day with our guy, Kyle Loomis, because, yeah, they've gotten commits from top 50, 100 players like every other day for the last 2 weeks for whatever reasons going on there. But other than that, things are pretty quiet nationally. There's a player here and there that have committed, but I know that you mentioned to me before we started to record that there's some rumblings out there of concern about the wide receiver position.
Yeah, so recruiting, the issue is offensive line. We can hit that real quick, and then we can get into wide receiver as far as when we get into the camp stuff. Josh Petty has been the 5-star offensive tackle that Florida State has been after at the top of their board, kind of the final infinity stone in this offensive line class. You've already got, the number 1 interior offensive line in the nation in Solomon Thomas committed, the number 7 interior offensive lineman in Peyton Joseph, 2 highly ranked offensive line recruits, the highest pair of recruits you've had in over a decade as far as 2 offensive linemen. So if you could add Josh Petty, another 5-star offensive lineman, offensive tackle, kind of the white whale, the most valuable thing in all of recruiting, the 5-star offensive tackle. He's kind of a prototype guy Mike Norvell wants to bring in here. He's super smart, super charismatic, has the frame, the ability, kind of marks all the boxes. He had been down to 5 schools: Florida State, Stanford, Georgia Tech, Ohio State. Florida State had been crystal balled kind of by all the leaders, all the Florida State people, et cetera, even like a couple people from other squads. We have been pretty confident on him, for months and months and months. He's coming down to an August 12th decision, which is like next Monday, I believe. So really coming down to the wire, and all of a sudden Steve Wiltfong goes on Newberg's show or somebody and says, oh man, really not trending well for Florida State right now. Really looking good for Ohio State and Georgia Tech to some degree, but Ohio State really trending for Josh Petty. I mentioned, we talked about our friend James Coleman, who's here with us a lot of times right here on the Voice of College Football. He did a show today breaking down practice, but he also had an interview that his guy Steve DeStilt did with Josh Petty just a couple of days ago. And look, everything from what I've seen Josh Petty talk, he seems super, super excited about Florida State. He can tell you things about Florida State and the program that a lot of super fans don't even know. Just off the cuff, he can kind of go on a rant, fit for a podcast. So I still feel good. I said on our show last night that we're 50-50, maybe a little bit over 50%. In this day and age in recruiting, there just are no sure things. These guys change their minds, different offers come through. They have so much more leverage than they had used to, so many more options and abilities to vet things. There's just so many different angles. His sister plays at Florida State, or doesn't play at Florida State. She goes to school at Florida State. I'm not sure if she's active in any clubs or sports. So that's big. That's the reason he would come. They're very close. If he wanted to kind of stay home close to the nest, be with a family member, have something that's kind of comfortable with him. Of course, you have that home environment there at Florida State, then okay, he's locked in. But if he wants to leave the nest, he wants to go chart his own track. Maybe he doesn't want sister knowing what he did at the frat party on Thursday night or whatever the case may be. Maybe he decides to go Ohio State, far from anybody in his family and things of that nature. So we're going to see. We're going to find out. The people out there that are losing their minds and going crazy, I would just say take a deep breath. Regardless of what's going to happen, Florida State still has 11 of 13 blue chips commits. They're going to end up with around a top 20 class, or top 10 class with 20, 22 commits, and this thing's going to keep on climbing. But as far as any one particular guy, don't get your hopes up. Just kind of enjoy it as it goes, and we'll see who gets there. But as far as there not being a ton going on, we've got Onis Conan Banny, who's committing on the 23rd. He's down to Florida State and Tennessee. Ladarian Clarity, who's down to Ole Miss, Florida State, maybe a couple other schools, was supposed to commit on August 3rd. He's delayed his. The reason it's really slowed down and we're not seeing a ton of stuff is because it's high school football season. These guys, they either try to get it done, before the season so they can concentrate on high school football, or they kind of just put it out of their mind and try to concentrate on high school football until it gets closer to signing day. So that's kind of why it's kind of slow, and I'm here for it. I'm ready to start covering actual football, watching some football games and things of that nature. But we'll definitely keep you guys up to date on all that stuff, and we should know something for sure on Monday about Josh Petty.
Yeah, that makes me think about coming on here every week. And the great thing about Saturday afternoons during football season is the obvious. Football's all over the place. The frustrating thing, so I only have one frustration, really, and that's I want to watch everybody, and you can't. So there's always about 7 or 8 games at the same time, and I can only watch 2 at. I've tried to watch 3 at a time. I got 3 screens, but I can't even watch that many at a time. So I love when there's a situation like with Florida State. Shoot, almost every year, going back a long ways, that I can watch the first game for sure without any interruptions, and that's again this week, and then I can come on here because if I'm not able to catch the Florida State game, then I try to cram in a composite like 1 hour edition or whatever, so I can talk intelligently on here with our guys. We appreciate you, Mike. Thank you so much for being that. That's Mike's standard comment that I so much appreciate, giving us props here at the Voice of College Football. Go Noles.
He's an
And
OG. He's been around. I don't know if I've been seeing you around the channel lately, man. Come see us, Mike. Where you been at, bro?
there you go, Mike. It's time to get locked in. We appreciate you.